Hello and welcome to a special recording of the partner session from the September Office Community Call. There were some technical issues with the initial recording, but we really wanted to make this session available to the community, so we've elected to record it separately. Thank you to Kim, Kare, and David for making these calls happen and having me on as well. It's been really amazing learning from others in the community, and it's important for us to give back at this point. My name is Jake, and I'm a product manager here at Vena. I'll start by talking a little bit about our approach to Excel and add-ins, and then I'll show you through how our user experience works for opening Excel files from Vena's front end. So first, we'll speak a bit, as I said, about the Vena approach, so finance in the cloud with Excel. Why we elected to use Office 365, a quick product demo, and then a technical walkthrough so you can understand the tech we've used. We'll skip Q&A for this session because it's just a recording. So the Vena approach. First, Vena is built on the principle that finance users love Excel. Vena is a platform that enables finance departments to use Excel on a large scale, and we call this financial process management. So first, let's kind of take a look at the problem we're trying to solve. So imagine you're running a lemonade stand. Maybe it's important to track your sales over time. You may track your costs in lemons and sugar. No problem. You're happy to manage this on a single Excel workbook. Fantastic. Next, imagine you've grown up. You're now managing a hardware store. You've got a lot more inventory, more sales, some employees, some more granular data. You'll need a handful of Excel spreadsheets, usually interconnected somehow, but it still works pretty smoothly. Now, you've done a great job managing one hardware store. Now you've got 1,000. You still would love to use Excel, but it's really, really difficult because there's just too much data. There's too many spreadsheets, too many perspectives, and too many users. So we came up with a different approach that enables this, you to still be able to use Excel in this case. So for the Vena approach, we still have Excel available, but we've added on Vena's added, as well as our server. So our approach is that we store your files and data on our server separately and then use the add-ins to combine those two inside Excel. This really lets our users have the best of both worlds, allowing us to handle the big data needs while allowing the calculation design and user experience to stay in Excel, which that's what we see Excel as best at. So we apply this approach to a whole bunch of different use cases. There are a lot that are important to the Department of Finance, and we can handle all of them. That's what makes us pretty special because we have this powerful platform approach. We can provide, as we say, solutions across the full FPM spectrum. Next, why did we choose Office 365? So 3 major reasons. The first one, we're really excited that the user experience is the same on Mac, Windows, and in browser. I'll go into a little bit of detail in a moment about the different techs we've used over time, but it's really important that users have access to their functionality wherever they need it. It's also important that there are no installations or updates required. We have end users who may not be that well attuned to Excel or tech, or even have IT departments that are not comfortable with their users installing new functionality. So using Office 365 really lets us avoid all of those headaches. Lastly, we love that the user experience is a lot more flexible and that there's a ton of support really for Office 365, including this community that we're talking as a part of. So I'll give you a little bit of context for Vena and our use of Excel add-ins. So first we built a .NET add-in in 2014. This is our users' bread and butter here at Vena. To this day, it's still the most used part of our platform. People are in this every day using it really, really heavily to use their Excel spreadsheets with added Vena functionality. Next, in 2017, we saw the need for contributors. So this is a smaller user type. They're just using what is made in the desktop add-in. And we really needed to support their ability to use Mac and Office Online. So that for that reason, we created our first Office 365 add-in called the Contributor Connector. Next, in 2018, we built another add-in called Ad Hoc Analysis. This allowed users to get a lot quicker access to their data in a pivot table-like driver. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And now we're investing a whole ton of resources in our Office 365 add-in. This is meant to be the new generation of our original desktop add-in for the modern world. So with all of the improvements from that I spoke about of why we chose Office 365, as well as a good opportunity to refresh the tech and how we accomplish what we do for our users. So to show you our authentication flow, which is really the experience that we want to present most, we are going to show you a demo of ad hoc analysis. Unfortunately, the Office 365 add-in, again, working title, is not quite ready to be shown, but hopefully they'll have me back someday to show what we've built there. So to give a quick preview of what the experience was originally when we built the ad hoc add-in, and then what we've improved it to, which we'll be showing today, I'll show you the steps there. So first, the original experience, the user had to open Excel, they had to navigate to the Office store, they had to find and launch the Vena connector in the Office store, and then they had to enter their username and password. We managed to simplify that a lot. Simply, they select the ad hoc feature on the front end, and then the user is sent to Excel and automatically authenticated with Vena. So quicker process. And without further ado, let me show you how that works. So we start in our manager view, and this is our ad hoc functionality, which we'll jump into in a moment. But first, I'll do something that we have to do just the first time. So we go to our user, we go to Microsoft account, and we link our account to Microsoft. So it sends us to Microsoft, where if I wasn't already logged in, I'd have to enter username and password, but I'm already logged in, no problem. And now my account is attached. So you can see my name here. This shows that my Microsoft account is attached to my Vena account. This will be more important when we go through our technical walkthrough. So let's go back to Manager, where we can enter ad hoc. And we'll select ad hoc here. Aha, so the magic actually happened there. If you blink, you missed it. We'll go through the tech of why that step was very important, but to a user, no problem. You just hit open, and it'll open readily in Office Online. So the file is actually stored in OneDrive, again, as we'll discuss in a moment, but it opens smoothly in Office Online with one click. The add-in appears on the right-hand side, and authentication occurs. So we didn't have to do anything here. Authentication's happened, and we can select our data model and start playing with our data. Just for a quick example, I'll just throw periods into columns, as is typical, location into rows, and we can refresh. And we can see that the Vena server is providing us back some data as we speak. Fantastic. Awesome. So I'm going to jump right back into our technical view of what happened. So what happened behind the scenes there? So first, we authenticated our Vena account with our Microsoft account. So this is important for us to have access for the next step. So let's go through that process. So first, we hit the Connect Microsoft account button on Vena, redirects us to Microsoft. We log into a Microsoft account, or if it's already logged in, no problem. You just select which one. And that way, we acquire a Microsoft OAuth 2 token. If you look in the top right corner, we have some documentation available if you're interested. That really guided us on our path. So thank you, Microsoft, and David at Microsoft especially, for making sure that documentation is available. The next step, and the user is returned to Vena, just to complete that journey for the user. Next, it's important to get that file to OneDrive. So the user activates Vena's ad hoc feature, and the Excel workbook is generated and sent to the user's OneDrive. Again, this is where the magic happens. So let's step through what is happening behind the scenes while the user is just waiting for a moment for their file to be generated. So first, we create a simple Excel file. Next, we inject a task pane request as XML. So this is what requests that the task pane be opened automatically when this file is open in Excel, which will be important in a moment. Next, we do what's called, we inject what's called the web extensions XML. This is what requests essentially from the Office store when the file is opened that the Vena add-in be opened as well alongside it. So that is why the add-in popped up ready to be used when the file was opened. You can see some of the XML on the bottom of the screen here. It's just the top of it, it's cut off. There's a whole bunch of that, but that again, I would look to the documentation for how to build that. Next, we inject a Vena one-time auth as XML into the file. So we inject our own authentication key into the file to be used later. And then we use the Microsoft OAuth token that we gained in step 1 to move that file into the user's personal OneDrive. Next, the user is linked to Office online where they can view the file stored in OneDrive. So if you go to a certain URL, you can have access to any file in your OneDrive opened automatically in Office Online. We actually get this back when we request that the file go to OneDrive in step 2. And so we automatically provide that link to the user in the open button we saw. Then, awesome. The add-in opens automatically in Excel Online. You can see on the right-hand side, that's our add-in. It popped open automatically right away so that the user is ready to use it. So this avoids having to go to the Office store. Again, this is due to the XML we injected in step 2. Lastly, Vena pulls out the one-time authentication, again, injected in step 2, where the magic happened, and logs into Vena from the session of the add-in. So this avoids the user having to log in to Vena through the add-in as well. So again, helps speed the user along. Fantastic. So I hope this has been instructive and can help you have a really nice, smooth experience for your users going from your platform to your add-in, if that's the problem you're looking to solve. And again, thank you so much for your time. We, again, really appreciate the community, and thank you for having me on. And feel free to get in contact if you have any questions as well. We're really happy to help others along as we've been helped before. So thank you so much.